Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Lone Wolf 902. Today I'm out on another hot tent solo adventure. As you can see, I got my tent, my stove, my sleeping area completely put together, and right now I'm just getting my table together, and then it's going to be firewood collection time. So I am out on a lake location. There is a lake directly in front of me. It is quite windy out, and right now we've got some black rain clouds rolling in. The forecast is calling for rain, but I don't know if it's going to actually rain today or rain tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get some rain this evening, because that would be that would be relaxing. Being inside of the hot tent with the crackling fire, the rain on the outside of the tent, always an enjoyable experience. So it is very windy. Those clouds are moving very, very fast. I'm gonna get my table situated after in the ground, because I don't know where I'm going to put the outdoor fire pit yet. I do have a lot of rocks off in the distance. Like, there's a lot of old granite rocks around here. So I am going to build an outside fire pit, probably just over here off to the side of the tent. And that way I can get my wok on the fire, do my outdoor cooking, my outdoor food prep on the table, and have a little bit of a relaxing evening outside as long as the rain holds off. And then it'll be in the tent and enjoy some of that wood stove heat. So let me get my saw and I'm gonna go collect some firewood. Alright guys, that was a fair bit of work. I got all of the firewood for the inside of the tent for the wood stove cut up. I've got a bunch of smaller wood out here that I also cut up. This is stove length, but the reason why I cut all this stuff stove length, I made my fire pit more like a chimney. So basically, I have my titanium wok. Oh, if I can reach it. I brought my wok with me tonight, so I'm going to be cooking my dinner over the fire. And I basically made it the perfect size so my wok fits right in there, much like a jet stove type deal. So it is windy out. I don't want the embers flying all over the place, and I really don't want to have to cut up a ton of firewood for outdoor use. So having this style fire pit for this pan, I think is the best bet. So I do have longer pieces right behind me. I'm sitting on a rock right now, and I'm pretty comfortable. I've been running around a little bit, so hard to reach things. So I did cut up longer pieces for later on. If I want to stand them in there and have it burn down, I can do that. If I want to cut these basically in thirds, I can also use it inside of the tent, but I don't think I'm going to need that much wood in there tonight. It is going down to 0 degrees Celsius, but I do have my sleeping pad and my down sleeping bag. So I'm going to be plenty warm with or without the stove. It's not going to matter. The stove's just there for more of an ambience to make hot chocolate on the stove inside later on tonight when I'm in there. So that's the deal with the firewood and the fire area, and the reason why I made the fire pit just like that fits in there nice and perfectly. It'll get a nice heat source underneath of it. I got my table here so I can do all my food prep, do my cooking all in one central area. So the next task is get that fire going. So I need some birch bark. Gonna go grab some of that and basically get a fire leg going, get that lit, and I might make some, oh, I know what I'm gonna make. I got some apple cider that I'm gonna make from scratch, and it is fall, so a little bit festive. I'll make up some apple cider first in the wok, and then I'll start on supper. So let's go get some birch bark. right, so I got the apple cider on the fire right now. We'll let that come up to temp and soften up those apples, really get that flavor in there. Got some brown sugar, some cinnamon in there. Gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna start on supper. I got a couple bags of green onion. I got some peppers, I got some garlic, and I've got some fettuccine noodles. I even brought some Parmesan cheese and some olive oil. So I'm going to make a pasta dish, a fresh pasta dish that is, and going to enjoy it because I love cooking pasta outdoors for some reason, and I don't think I've done it in a little while. I don't know. I've been cooking a lot of different foods, but the pasta outdoors for me is 2 thumbs up. So I'm gonna do up my garlic, my onions, get them set aside in these little cups, get them off to the side, get my peppers all cut up, and then hopefully that'll be done by the time I'm ready to get my my water on, and I could transfer the hot apple cider out into my pot and keep going from there. My brain is a little fried right now. I'm really hungry, and I've been working a lot, so I need some food so I can start thinking again. And that apple cider is gonna be awesome. I can smell it right now. It smells really good. So let's get some food prep done. Oh yeah, that apple cider is awesome. So I have my pot over here with a bunch more apples and cider in it. I'm gonna save that for a little later on tonight, keep it warm. Wow, this is good. This would have been a nice little dessert. Mmm. That apple is so soft. Whew. And the cinnamon, the brown sugar. Let's get this guy right here. Mmm. Mmm. Alright, so if you guys make apple cider when you're out, put the sliced apple in there. Get it till those apples are just soft. Mmm. Wow. Alright, I'm going to have a little sip of this. Hot. And time to get cooking. That apple cider is awesome. Wow. Really good. You'll be seeing that again on the channel. So, got my wok. Get that on there. I do have some water. So what I've got going on right now is I have my green onions all sliced up in this little cup. I've got my fresh garlic here. And I have to address, I know I said fresh pasta, I lied. It's not fresh pasta. What I was trying to say is pasta that is fresh. Fresh vegetables, good clean snap with the fresh green onions. I'm not going to fry those. I'm going to put those in last. And I brought a bag of spinach, and I have olive oil. Or not spinach, sorry, parsley, dried parsley. So this is going to be like a green pasta with no sauce. The sauce is just going to be the olive oil drizzled over top. Going to be really, really good. Got a whole bunch of spices here. That garlic, going to be good. So get my water in there, get the pasta cooked, and then we'll get the veggies in there, the spice, toss it with some oil, and enjoy. And Parmesan cheese. I did bring Parmesan cheese. So it's going to be really good. All right, guys, supper is ready. This tastes amazing. Oh man. Whew. So that Parmesan cheese on top. Oh. Roasted garlic and the Parmesan cheese come through really, really strong in this really good dish. Mmm. Oh yeah. I put the green onions on top right at the very, very end. The peppers still have crunch to them, so they're not fried, so they're soft. They have actually got a good snap, good crunch. Green onions are fresh. The parsley, the garlic. Oh yeah. So I'm going to kick back and eat my supper. This is probably the first meal I've had all day, and that's why my brain's kind of been all over the place with firewood, getting the tent set up, getting the fire pit made, everything kind of just pounding away at it. And I still haven't gotten used to how dark it gets, how quick. So the sun is gone down behind. It is starting to get quite dark in the forest. I'm still adjusting to that. So hopefully I'll get it hammered down within the next video or two, and then I'll know how much time I have. Basically, I'm just gonna kind of look at the times. Okay, I got 2 more hours till sundown. I got to get this down. So gonna figure it out. Gonna get there. But right now, I'm gonna eat my supper, and I'm gonna enjoy it. All right, guys, supper's all done, and I gotta say it was awesome. Really, really good. I gotta cook that again out in the woods because it was really good. So it is getting quite late now, I gotta say. Like I was saying before I started eating, it gets dark out here quick now. So I did a really, really fast cleanup. I basically ran down to the lake water, washed out my wok, came back up, got everything put away inside of the tent. We are now ready for nightfall. So like I was saying, I have all of the firewood that I need inside of the tent. I'm probably going to try and save this just because it did get dark a lot earlier than I thought it was going to. So I'll probably leave the doors open and crawl inside the tent once it does get dark, and watch a movie, do a little bit of carving, whatever I'm going to do in there. But I am going to save this, and I'm going to burn the big long pieces that I left over here, like the 2-3 foot sections. I got a really big one in here right now, so hopefully that'll burn away nicely. I do need more birch bark because I burned up all the birch bark from here, so I want to go get some birch bark, and then I want to go take a look at the lake, have a little look down there because I can see it from up here. It looks pretty still out there. I haven't seen any loons yet or heard any, so I'm hoping maybe they'll come out a little later on. But yeah, I need birch bark. Got to go over there, get the birch bark, get that in the stove, get the stove ready, and then basically wait till nightfall. All right, guys, I'm basically tired out for the night. That hike in and not eating earlier on during the day really messed with my schedule. So, got the stove going. It is getting really hot in here. That little stove pumps out some heat. Now, this is the T1 Mini. I should mention that. It's the T1 Mini from Pomali. And I do have the T1 regular size for those who haven't been on the channel before. This stove, the Mini, saves a ton of room in one person tent, so I'm really enjoying this. A lot of extra room, that's all I can say. If I had another person in here, easily they'd be able to sleep on the other side, no problem. So I'm gonna basically chill out in the tent. I'm probably gonna close one door and leave the other door wide open, probably right up until midnight. I'm gonna kick around in here with my headlamp. I might do a little bit of carving because I actually got a pretty decent piece of hardwood right here. So I might whittle away at that, and we'll see what happens. But I'm basically just gonna relax. I might make a tea or a hot chocolate later on the stove, and then basically brush my teeth and head to sleep. It is quite windy out. A little update on the weather right now. If the microphone's picking that up, the trees are just whipping around. No rain yet, but there was a couple drops that hit the tent earlier on, so fingers crossed tonight we will get rain. I'm really hoping for that. If I can wake up and hear the tapping on the tarp, I'll be a really happy guy. So hopefully rain comes. If not, hopefully it'll be here in the morning. I was really hoping for rain on this trip. So anyways, to keep it short, I am basically, like I said, I'm going to get changed, get my socks changed, get my lawn johns on, and get ready for kind of just lounge time and enjoy this heat. So I'm going to peace out, and I'll catch you guys first thing in the morning. Good morning, guys. I had one crazy night last night. As you can see, it is still windy out. The rain came in really heavy last night. So two things that was awesome. I got a warm tent, a really warm tent all night last night. I still have quite a bit of hardwood left over actually. This thing, I damped it down and it just slow burned for the whole night. It was awesome, really good. I had one of the doors open, a crack, leaves blowing in. I had one of the doors open, a crack for quite a while, and the skies opened up and it just downpoured. So I couldn't get out of the tent and film the tent being rained on because that would be ridiculous. I'd be completely soaked and my camera would be soaked. But I did try and get the camera out the door of the tent, and it came down. It was pouring with rain all night. So I had a really great night's sleep. The tent is completely soaked outside, everything inside is absolutely dry. I had a little bit of rain come down through the top of the stove jack. A few water drops tapped on the top of the stove and kind of sizzled off. No big deal. I had a really great time though listening to that rain. So early morning, right now I'm going to start on coffee. So I got my coffee, my oatmeal, everything kind of situated here on my table. I'm gonna get my pot of water on, get some coffee going, have some breakfast, and say hello to the morning outdoors. All right, just gonna throw another hardwood log in here. And I think I wanna go have coffee down by the lake. I know it's really windy, but kinda wanna see what's going on out on that lake. So hopefully that'll fit. I just put a lot of wood in there, and then I got the bright idea of going down to the water's edge. Oh yeah, it fits. All right. Damp it down a little bit. Let's get some coffee and let's go down to the lake because I want to get out of this tent. I've been in it all night. I need to stretch my legs. Oh. Whew. All right. So, back from my little walk over to the lake. It is crazy, crazy windy out there right now. And I'd much rather be inside. So, I'm gonna pour myself another cup of coffee. And then I want to start on breakfast, which is oatmeal today. Love oatmeal when I'm camping. Try not to spill this all over the place. So these tables, these little tables that I have on the channel, man, they are extremely, extremely useful. Now this particular table that I'm using today, this is my Pomali table. It does have a pole attachment that attaches to the Pomali center pole right here in their teepees. However, it does not fit on the diameter of the Untitled center pole. So I opted to bring the actual spike leg to just put it in the ground because I was using it outside of the tent and inside of the tent. So these things are tremendously, tremendously useful inside of a tent for me anyways, for my style. I really enjoy having the table to do food prep outside and inside. You'll notice I got my fire steel kind of propped in here, my fire steel knife, my little wood processing knife, all kinds of neat little kind of areas and little spots to hang gear and put things. Keeps it really organized. So, man, that is putting out some heat. So, when I closed the doors, because when I went down to the lake, I closed one panel of the door because the wind was just whipping in here, and I didn't really want to create a whole open door for the wind to come in when I wasn't sitting next to the stove. I do have 3 key rings, little round key rings that I attached to my spark arrestor up top. I didn't guy it out last night, partly my fault. I didn't think it was going to get this windy out, but the stove jack is up high enough that it's holding that pipe in there securely from moving back and forth. And the stove, it's locked tight on that stove, so it didn't move at all last night. A couple creaks and groans here and there. Other than that, it was perfectly fine. I would recommend, though, guying out the top. This is a 2-meter pipe, and this is, like I said, this is one Tiger Smoky Hut, so I believe it is 4.3 feet tall. I'm not totally sure. But I have a review on all of this stuff if you're interested in any specs, any sizes and whatnot. The only reason why I'm mentioning this is because I've been getting asked a lot about, do you have to guy out the spark arrestor when using a 2-meter pipe inside of the Smoky Hut? Me, in my case, I didn't have to, but for safety's sake, I would say go ahead and do that. But I was really happy last night, really happy with this setup. I was nice and cozy over here on my sleeping pad and my down sleeping bag. I didn't even use the other half of the tent. I honestly, I used this section, that was it. So the other half of the tent was completely empty. So you could definitely have another person in here with the solo stove, the little Pomali Mini here. You can have 2 people in here with that stove. It does offer up a lot of room. So, like I said, I need oatmeal. I'm starting to kind of go into daydream mode here. I need some calories, I need some food. So I'm gonna get my oatmeal done, get that cooked, start eating that, and then I'll bring you guys back and give you an update as to what's gonna happen today. All right, guys, got my boots kicked off. Sunshine is coming out, so I got some nice golden light coming inside of the tent. Starting to warm up now. Last night, it did get down to, I checked and it was down to +1 degree Celsius the last time I looked. So I would bet that it did hit 0 degrees. Like I said, I was totally warm, no issue. The stove burned for quite a while. I did load on a couple round pieces before I went to sleep. And I mean, this is some dense wood. Like this chunk of wood here, that's gotta be like 2 pounds. That's a solid chunk of seasoned maple. Really, really dense, really hard. Put 2 rounds in the stove and I let it burn on high just to make sure it was burning for about 2 minutes. And then I damped down the rear damper, damped down the vent, laid down, and I'm telling ya, what a view. Laying down here and having that view just right inside that little glass window was awesome. So tent was really, really nice, even though with all the wind it was quite windy. I had a really good night. It was a little difficult to fall asleep at first because, you know, kind of, one, I was in trance with the stove. I was just watching the flames through the window. And 2, the loud rain and the wind was just, it was hard rain. So all in all, pretty good. One thing I do want to mention, if you can see down here, I have some rocks and I can't get them out because they're very hot. I did put rocks, about palm size, hand size, underneath of the stove for 2 reasons. I do that in the fall. You got all this leaf litter on the ground. This stove is a little lower to the ground because it's got short little legs. So if you do have a stove that's lower to the ground, you do run the risk of not really catching the forest floor on fire because the heat doesn't really shoot down, it goes up. But it can start to smoke, okay? So I don't really want leaf smoke smoking up my tent. So what I do is I put rocks under there. Another thing that does is those rocks actually hold a lot of radiant heat. So when the stove starts to die down, those rocks continue to radiate heat. So you're not completely losing your heat source. So that's a little tip when hot tenting. If you do have a little bit of leaf litter on the ground, or not, if you just want to put some rocks under there to help with that radiant heat, it's a little tip. So I think I'm going to be doing coffee and breakfast in bed. I know I already started on coffee, but I'm going to do breakfast in bed. So pretty cozy right now. I'm not sure if that sunshine's going to come out totally or if that was just a spot in the clouds because the sky is completely gray and a little bit of black. So it looks like it might rain some more today. Who knows? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna get my oatmeal rocking here. Hopefully that'll, yeah, already steaming. I think we're good right now, actually. Might be good right now. Oh yeah, I think that's good. So the purpose of this trip, 1, get out in the fall in a hot tent, because that is really awesome. 2 was testing phase of the heating and the fitment of the small stove. So that's why I'm talking about the stove a lot, because this was for my goal. I wanted to achieve a little bit of knowledge. I wanted to find out how much this would heat and how long it would burn for, because I've been getting asked a lot of questions about it, and it is a relatively new stove on the market. It's also new to me, so I'm really happy with it. It damps down nicely, and if you guys haven't seen my review on it, check it out. So this is kind of this is an overnighter. Give you guys a sneak peek at some gear that I'm using. I do have my DIY wax canvas bedroll. I am currently sleeping on my Climate X, what is this? Static V. Climate Static V insulated. I've been using this for quite a while now. T1 mini stove we've already talked about. Kamali cable, one Tigress, smoky hut tent. My sleeping bag. Sleeping bag I used last night. This is actually a one Tigress down bag. This is an excellent sleeping bag. 700 fill goose down. The problem with this bag is it's no longer for sale. So it's black and blue, if you guys have seen it. It used to be on Amazon.ca for $349 Canadian. One Tigress sent this to me. It does come in a white stuff sack, so if you guys have seen this on my channel before, you'll know what bag this is. They sent the sleeping bag to me. They also sent me the matching top quilt. So they're both extremely warm, very hot. The rating on this guy 700 fill power goose down. It says limit of -8, comfort of -5 degrees Celsius. So hopefully that gives you an idea as to how warm I was with the equipment that I was using. I didn't sleep with my sweater on. I took this off. I didn't even use my big wool sweater at all. That was my pillow. And I basically slept in my long sleeve thermal shirt and a pair of military long johns and my long military socks. And that was basically it. I was totally warm. Did not need the stove to stay warm. More of a comfort feature, and I had a really great time. I was totally warm. So I hope that this gets some of you guys thinking about some gear, because I know we are in hot tent season right now in Nova Scotia, Canada. It's going to extend through other parts of the world, and I know some parts of the world are now just starting to look into hot tenting. I really hope that this kind of answers a lot of your guys' questions and helps you guys out. All right, breakfast is all done. It's very full now. And I'm gonna start packing up. The reason I'm gonna start packing up, my tent is almost dry. And it has been spitting with rain off and on. So if I can get my tent down, look at the size of this thing. Look at how much air this holds. If I can get my tent packed away before the rain comes back down, starts raining again, I'll be a happy guy. This is just a one-night trip, so I do have not a terribly long hike, probably about an hour and a half hike to get back to the trail where I parked my truck, and then load up from there and head out. I will say, because I know the regular viewers, you guys recognize this pack. I packed a smaller pack. This is a 65 liter. For those of you that don't know, I do have a review on this. It's my Marting Top 65 liter pack. I packed small and light. Now I could have went with a 50 liter pack, because the setup that I have right now does not take up a lot of room. I actually used my wool sweater. I was thinking that I was actually going to wear it, maybe sit out next to the fire late last night, but where I came inside of the tent and it started raining, I really didn't use my sweater at all other than a pillow. So that helped fill the pack to give it form. Sleeping bag packs down really small, and I can cinch it down smaller, but I actually want it to stay larger because, like I was saying, I need to fill the bag. I need to give it form. So I was actually really happy with the pack weight. This is 5 pounds. So we got the table to, I think about 15 to 18 pounds is what I had packed last night, because I've got my Grail water filter. This thing's quite heavy, but it's very useful. Now I'm not counting my knife either, like the things that I was wearing, so this is quite heavy as well. It's a big chunk of steel. I'm not counting my fire steel. That is a huge fire steel. I really like using that. Or my saw. My saw, I mean, this is probably about 2 pounds in itself. Just looking at shelter setup, the stove, the tent, the pad, my wax canvas, sleeping bag, I want to say it's probably pushing 15, 18 pounds. So I was actually packing quite light, and that's, you know, not bad, really not bad. So This setup right now, I would have survived wintertime, no problem. I've used less than this in wintertime and have been just as happy. Minus 15, minus 20. Of course, you get the stove going max, you know, get it kicking up. This will be the first winter that I've used this stove. So when I say get the stove going from a small stove, last year I used my DIY ammo can stove, which was a 50 caliber ammo can. Very, very close to the same size as this. And that ammo can got the Smoky Hut tent really hot, really, really hot. So this guy I know is gonna perform perfectly. So 15 to 18 pounds, not terrible. I'm gonna get packed up, like I was saying. I wanna beat that rainfall. If I can have everything packed away, it makes it nice and easy when I get home, because then I don't have to hang. I mean, I do hang everything and let it dry out, but I don't have to hang it and have it dripping all over the house and wet and stuff like that. I hang all my gear for one day if it's wet. Everything, the sleeping pad I'll take out, the wax canvas. I'll open up the stove components, even though it's titanium, it's not gonna rust. I like opening it up, kind of cleaning it out. Every single piece of gear I lay out and I let air dry before I pack it away. So that's the plan. I know you guys don't want to watch this part because it's boring. I'm gonna let this burn out. I'm gonna get the tent down, everything packed away inside the pack, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm done. And then I think I have, yeah, I pretty much covered everything. If I didn't cover everything and you guys just have burning questions, drop it down in the comment section, because I always answer the comments in the comment section. And like I said, this is more of an informational overnight video, so I have no problem talking about everything that I've got going on as far as gear and arrangements and sleeping and all that stuff. So please drop it down in the comment section. It is coming in a hot tent season, and I'd rather you guys ask now and have a great hot tenting season rather than have a poor time and then come back and ask later. So I'm gonna clean up, get everything packed away, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, guys, everything is cleaned up. As you can see, my nice little round tent ring, nice and dry. It is getting very, very dark and cloudy. I did beat the rain. The tent, everything's packed away. I did beat the rain. However, it is starting to spit with rain right now. That sunshine is definitely not coming out today. So I've got everything packed away. I may use my pack cover, throw it on top to keep the rain off it if it does open up. But I'm gonna wrap this up really quickly because I do not want my camera gear getting soaked. So that's gotta get packed away in the bag, and I've got to hit the trail. Like I said, I got about an hour hike until I get back to my truck, and then it's home, edit the video, upload it, and out to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short, kind of quick informational overnighter. I had a really great time right here. I was kind of in an open area, but kind of closed in at the same time. Got the lake off behind the camera, all that wind was whipping in. One thing, this tent does not have a snow skirt. It worked in my favor because I had a really nice cool breeze coming in the tent all night, whisking away all of that really, really hot air. So it was easy to kind of control the temperature is what I'm trying to say. Really, really nice time in there. So I've got everything packed away. Like I said, the pack's actually really light. I want to say, like I was saying earlier, 15 to 18 pounds. With everything in there, including my flashlight headlamp, which I use only at nighttime, the wood stove, everything, I want to say it's probably 25 pounds. I want to say 25, maybe 27 pounds. So not too bad for weight at all. As you can see, everything is cleaned up, but I do have to wrap this up really quickly because behind the camera, I can see raindrops hitting that lake. I've got to get going. So thank you guys very much for watching the video. If you guys have any questions, as always, drop it down into the comment section, and I'm going to get this pack on and get out of here. So peace out, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.